Hello and welcome to this video in which I build and paint the Land Rover 88 Series 2A from AK Interactive. And while I'm struggling to get open the box, I wanted to explain a little bit about why I wanted to build this. I recently went to the Euro Model Expo and there I saw a few models of this made by Mila Mitrailleuse. I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but those builds were so good. I had to try this kit out. I really liked the car, so I wanted to have a go. There were some really tiny parts. I found out during the build that I'm not that good with tiny parts. I don't have the patience. In the beginning the build was straightforward. A bit later on, when I got to the engine and the transmission, I did run into a few problems, like this one. A lot of ejector pins were on the kit and sometimes on really strange places. I'll show you one in a second. So I had to do a lot of cleanup, and like I said before, the tiny pins, I found it really difficult to work with. Luckily I wasn't planning on showing the engine to have the hood open, so it didn't matter that much, but I found it really hard to build it correctly with really tiny pins and holes. Here's another example of ejector pin flashes. I don't know what they are called, but these are on the inside of the tire where you have to mount it on the chassis. I found that really strange. I'm skipping a lot of building of the engine. Be prepared for some really tiny parts. It's nice this set has some photo etch parts, but here in the inside, because I wasn't going to show it, it's almost a waste. It was really fiddly to get the engine in the correct position, as well as the exhaust, and the manual wasn't really clear on where to fix the exhaust to the chassis. The inside of this car took me more than half of the whole build time, so I was really glad that was mostly over. The body of this car went together really great. Really positive fit, nice parts, nice detail. These parts needed a lot less cleanup, and I'm fixing it with, to me, extra thin cement. These are the seats, the bench, which came in 3 parts. I wasn't sure about the angle of the back, so I'm placing it inside the cabin to get the right angle. Yes, the kit had some really tiny parts. And this was one that had to hold up the front window. It was really fiddly. As you can see, I primed the car, the chassis in mahogany from Tamiya, and the car itself in a light grey color. With a scriber, just a needle in the fine liner, and here a hobby knife. I'm cutting away the lower part of the body. I saw this in reference photos and videos that restorers of these cars sometimes chopped up this part to give the look of the car more height. It looked more off-roady. Here I decided to get other bumpers than the manual suggested. This one is from another version of this kit. Here I'm doing a dry fit and I'm really happy about this. This looks really good. Just a super fun little car. Here's a photo etch part for the number plate, which was not really clear to me how to put it on the car, so I bent the strips all the way flat and mounted it on the grille. I'm going to paint it navy blue. I chose a color from Mr. Hobby, navy blue, because there was one of the few colors in blue I could get in spray paint and acrylic bottle. because I don't have an airbrush. I'm reliant on a spray can to get a flat coat of paint on it. My plan was to have it look like it was bleached in the sun, so the color on top of the car was more light. I would try to use it with oil paints, and in the end that was a lot more tricky than I thought. Here I am putting decals on the instrument panel in the cabin. Painting the seats in a dark brown color to make it look like leather, and also the panels on the inside of the doors. Here I'm placing the doors on the model. In the instructions it says you can place the front window in place without the doors, but the angle of the window, it's not really clear. Painting some details in an aluminum color. As I'm watching this, I realized that building a kit with really tiny details isn't necessarily the most fun part for me, but painting really tiny details I really like. Putting on the decals I find always a really fun part of the build, especially if your paint job is not coming out as you hoped. Then the decals can give the kit some kind of realism, some crisp details, so it doesn't look that bad. Well, as the kit looks now, I think I'm just pleased about it, but in a moment you will see the experiment I did with oil paints, which did not turn out as I hoped. These are decals from a Jerry kit, the kit I built before this one. That one is also on my channel. I did not use any of those decals, but I found this orange color really fitting with the dark navy blue. And of course I had to get one of my own printed decals, in this case on a can. Here you can see the experiment, one of the experiments I'm trying to fix. I'm going over it with a light wash of that navy blue. To correct an experiment, I tried to let the paint look sun-bleached. Gone a little bit too far on the decals. The stowage mostly from a Tamiya kit and an Airfix accessory kit with cans. On the hood you can see another experiment with oil paints in which I tried to lighten the blue, which again failed, and later on off camera I filled it again. I did another wash of navy blue over it. This is a oil wash, just a mix of paints which I made myself, so I don't know the paints I used, but it's a standard dark brown wash. I paint all over the vehicle to make it a little bit dirty and also tone down the colors a little bit. This is a light dust wash, an enamel paint from IIA. I used it on the tires and also tried to make it look like dust that collected on the side of the car. I was not really happy about the results. I still have to learn a lot about the use of PVA glue. I know it's supposed to dry clear, but I got a lot of residue on the windows, so I'm not really happy about that. In the future, I have to use it more sparingly, as you can see here on the side window. As I said before, the kit has a lot of extra parts for the other versions of this vehicle, so I could use these tools, the shovel, to put on the back of the car. I could put on the roof, and that was the final part of the build. I got a piece of wood out of my shed and made a tiny landscape, wooden landscape for the Land Rover. And this is the result. And boy, this was a learning curve, and I have learned that I still have to learn a lot more. I have to buy this kit again and try this another time. I hope you like to watch the video and maybe get inspired to build it yourself. I still have a lot to learn: how to put on clear parts, how to get a nice clean coat of paint on the car, how to use oil paints to make it look like it was bleached in the sun. Anyhow, I hope you liked the video. If you did, you can like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Doei.